The Battle of Stalingrad.
That was so good.
The Battle of Stalingrad was a World War II battle fought between the Soviet Union, also known as the Red Army, and Germany. It was fought in the city of Stalingrad, Russia. It lasted from August 23, 1942 to February 2, 1943. This was a total of 199 days. It was one of the largest and bloodiest battles of World War II, with an estimated 2 million casualties. It was a major turning point in the war in favor of the Allies. Hitler wanted resources from the Soviet Union, specifically oil from the Caucasus Mountains, because he was running out of fuel for tanks, planes, and other army vehicles. He also wanted to defeat the Soviet Union before the United States joined the war with the Allied powers. Stalingrad was a crucial city to hold in the war, especially if Hitler wanted to win and get the resources he wanted.
An excerpt from Hitler's order of the day to the German troops on the Eastern Front before attacking Stalingrad. He wrote, "Within a few weeks, his three most important industrial regions will be completely in our hands. Your names, soldiers of the German armed forces, and the names of our brave allies, the names of your divisions and regiments, and your tank forces and air squadrons, will be associated for all time with the most tremendous victories in history."
Germany first attacked the city with a massive air raid by their air force, reducing the city to rubble. Stalin anticipated the German attack and shipped many important resources away from the city to protect them from the Germans. Vicious man-to-man combat occurred at the start to take control of single streets, buildings, and neighborhoods. At one point, Germany occupied roughly 90% of the city, but the Red Army never gave up.
And on the Russian front, the crisis was nearing at Stalingrad, key to Russia's supply lines. For 40 days and 40 nights, the Germans had been hammering at the city. Time after time, Hitler had promised his people, Stalingrad will be ours. But Marshal Stalin had said to his armies, not one step back. Germany threw thousands of men, enormous amounts of material into the fight. But stubbornly, the Russians fought on, behind crumbling walls, in suburban gardens, in factories, in houses, on stairways. And Stalingrad held.
In November of 1942, the Soviets launched Operation Uranus, which targeted the weak flanks of the German army. The Soviet army encircled over 250,000 German troops and trapped them inside the city. The Germans wanted to escape before the harsh winter came around, but Hitler told his army to hold their ground and try not to fight their way out of the city.
Winter arrived, and the intense cold was too much to bear for the Germans. They began to freeze and starve from scarcity of resources while being trapped by the Soviets. The German army became too weak to fight and surrendered, giving up their position in Stalingrad.
After the loss at Stalingrad, Germany was on the defensive for the first time in the war. Hitler's army seemed weaker, and the Soviet army proved its strength. As Soviet troops pushed from the east, Stalin urged British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and United States President Franklin Delano Roosevelt to capitalize on the situation and launch an invasion from the west. The two leaders agreed to win the war in Europe before focusing on the war in the Pacific. U.S. and Great Britain attacked Germany from the west in a huge invasion known as D-Day, and the Soviets attacked them from the east.
Soon after, Germany was on the verge of defeat, and Hitler knew it. Ever since the loss at Stalingrad, Nazi troops were pushed farther and farther back along both the east and west. That crucial battle turned the tides of the war and helped cause an Allied victory.